Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ontario Cryptids. I hope you had a festive 4th of July celebration last weekend. Today we have 5 stories to share with you all, and I would like you to pay close attention to the locations of these stories. I feel this offers some insight as to why people in these areas have encounters. As you know, I am always looking for great stories to be shared on this channel. So if you have a story you would like to share in a safe environment, then forward your encounter stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. Now, go grab yourself a beverage and get cozy on the couch or chair and sit back and relax. All right, this first story takes place on January 30th, 2021. It takes place in Menominee County, Michigan, and the nearest town is Faithorn. We were coyote hunting, and when we first sat down, my buddy says, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Hear what?" Then he said, "It sounded like a wood knock." I didn't think much of it, and we went on to call for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes of calling, I stand up to sign the field edge, and when I sign, I see 2 huge glowing eyes like a yellowishy bright color. I have never seen this before, and it was high enough off the ground that my first thought was the landowner put a reflective sign in a tree. So I scope in on it, and I realize whatever it was hidden behind a tree, looking around it. So my buddy starts scoping in on it too. Then it proceeds to crouch down low to the ground and look around the other side of the tree. Then it disappeared for about 10 seconds, then popped up 10 yards to the right of where it first was, and it was looking around a tree again. And when we all scoped in on it, we all clear as day witnessed it crouch down like a person, and it vanished. I have been in the woods all my life, and I've seen all sorts of eye shine. But tonight, I've seen the unexplainable. This next story takes place January 23rd of 2021, and we are going to Humboldt County, California. The nearest town is Garberville. I was driving home from Brookings, Oregon on January 23rd, 2021. I was southbound on Highway 101 south of Garberville, California, and south of Benbow Inn. The road makes a few turns, and the speed limit drops in this area. As I rounded a sweeping right-hand turn, I saw a figure on the southbound shoulder on the highway. I was the only vehicle in the area about 8:15 p.m. My speed was about 45 to 50 miles per hour as I passed the figure. The figure was lying on the shoulder of the road on its right side. I estimated the height to be about 7 feet. I was looking at the creature's back and noticed it had a broad shoulder and was thick in the torso. While the shape similar to a human, it was not human. It was not a bear either. I could see muscular features in its guts and a head on the shoulder that was somewhat tapered towards the top and being held off the ground. Its hair was a chocolatey brown and very coarse. The hair was not fur-like of a bear at all. I turned around a distance past the spot and returned to where I had seen it. No other vehicles had gone north or south from the time I saw the creature to the time I returned to its location. Estimate about 2 minutes. When I got to the top where I had seen it, the creature was gone. As an avid hunter and fisherman, I spend a lot of time in the woods. I spent every summer camping in that area as well as a kid. I have never seen anything like what I saw just this evening. This one takes place on January 9th, 2021. It takes place in Rockbridge County, Virginia, and the nearest town is Collierstown. I live about 3 miles west of Collierstown, Virginia, in the heart of the Appalachians. Around 7 p.m. yesterday evening, January 9th, 2021, I went out on my porch to listen to coyotes, which I hear some nights. And about a minute after the coyote stopped, I hear a very high-pitched wail or moan that was in 3 intervals, each with higher-pitched successions coming from the next mountain ridge to my east. The tone and duration of the wail or moan was unlike anything I have ever heard, and sounded out of place. It did not sound like a normal coyote sound. It was very strange and made the hair on my arm stand up. I live in a very remote region of the Appalachians, about 15 miles southwest of Lexington, Virginia. I am an avid outdoorsman and an expert with most animal sounds in the region, and I could not identify this sound. This one takes place October 21st, 2020. It takes place in Kittitas County, Washington. The nearest town is Ellensburg. I was deer hunting near Ellensburg, specifically GMU 328 Nanum Unit last October 2020. On the 5th day of my hunt, I was looking over an open area that butted off to the woods, and I saw a shape at the tree line that was standing upright and it appeared to be a person in a ghillie suit. I thought it was odd because you are required to wear hunter orange during hunting season. I then looked down to retrieve my binoculars that were resting on my chest, and I raised them up to scan the area, and the person or thing was gone. I scanned the area with my eyes and binoculars, and I did not see it again. The person or thing I saw was approximately 300 yards away from me, and there weren't very many hunters out on this day. I then moved on via foot to an area I haven't hunted yet, and after about 10 minutes of walking, I saw a track on the ground that looked like a human's barefoot mark in the dirt. I took a photo of it and looked around the area for more tracks, but I could not locate any. The area was mostly a logged area with short field-type grass, and just a little bit of dirt in the area. The size of the print was only about a size 11 foot. I then continued my hunt and left the next morning. All right, this one is the last story of the day. It takes place August 1st, 2016 in Pierce County, Washington, and the nearest town is Greenwater. A friend and I started our hike from Forest Service Road 73 into Mount Rainier National Park via the trail that goes past Lake Eleanor. This was the closest we could get to our fishing destination, Oliver Lake, due to the long-time road closures in the area. We hiked in on a maintained trail through Grant Park and then down to the White River and then up Lake James. From that point, it was a cross-country bushwhack past Lake Ethel along Mosquito Flats onto Marjorie Lake. Our plan was for 2 nights at Oliver Lake, but with some route-finding difficulties, we stayed at Marjorie Lake for 1 night. The next morning, we hiked for about 15 minutes and located Oliver's Lake. We set up camp and then began fishing. As we fished around parts of the lake approximately 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., I found it odd that I did not see any sign of other human evidence of any kind, i.e., fishermen trails, trash, areas previously camped in, etc. By the way, the fishing was fantastic, all catch and release except for the last one, a nice 15-inch rainbow trout, which was dinner. Later that night, in the tent my buddy and I were sharing, my buddy was fast asleep and I was tossing and turning trying to get comfortable. Suddenly I hear a guttural low-pitched screams coming from the ridge above us, which I estimate about 300 feet up. Every inch of my body is at attention now, and I'm trying to figure out what is making the noise. The screams came in quick succession and total about 8 to 10 screams. By the time I wake up my buddy, the screams have stopped, and I explained to him what I heard. We continued to listen and did not hear anything else and eventually went to sleep. I am writing this now because it jogged my memory from watching a Bigfoot show on TV last night, and it really struck a chord with me and to reach out and report what I heard. I have been an active hiker, camper, and fisherman for many, many years, and I have stayed in many remote places here, Canada, Europe, and South America, and I have never heard this type of low-pitched guttural screams. I have come across bear and cougar and did not attribute this sound to any of those species. No one else in the area knew where we were going except for the park staff that gave us the permit at Carbon River Ranger Station. There you have it, guys. Another 5 fantastic stories for you today. So, did you guys notice anything unusual? Well, let me give you a hint. One reason why I like to show the topographical view of the area is to just show everyone how remote a lot of these encounters truly are. And all of the ones, except for one seemed to be in more of a farmland area. However, they were hunting on some reserves, so maybe it was more wooded in that section of the county. But the majority of these areas were not only densely wooded, I would say dense to the point where, as you saw, there was very little flat area around. Hence, the towns were very small, and often, as you saw, they were just surrounded by mountains. So these would be quite suitable areas to have massive creatures or wild people living in them. That is one of the main reasons why I like to show Google Earth, so that you can actually see what the area looks like where these encounters are happening. In any case, guys, if these stories reminded you of an encounter that you may have had or would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be more than honored to share your story on this channel. Thank you all for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that like button and smash that subscribe button on your way out if you're new to my channel. And just be sure that you guys are all safe out there and have a fantastic weekend. And we'll see you all next week.